Oh hey, it's Magic Wedding Photographer, destination wedding photographer, YouTuber, educator, and you are listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast.
Nirit and Amir, I'm so happy to have you both here, and it's just an exciting time in the photo industry. Everything's evolving, ever changing. I know that at Pic-Time, you've always got some cool stuff in the works, and hopefully we'll get to some of that as well. But I want to start out with, first of all, how are you both doing, and how is life at Pic-Time these days?
Life at Pic-Time. Life at Pic-Time is always busy.
Of course.
Every time I was with the marketing team today, and I said, okay, next time, let's be ready 2 days before the campaign. So all the materials everything will be on time. Somehow it's very intense. So I would say that this is life in Pic-Time. We're working on the edge.
Yeah, always trying to achieve that streamlined workflow for a new campaign or whatever it is, but you're always fighting to get there.
A lot of things are happening. While we're getting ready for the campaign, there's another feature popping and another initiative that is coming. I think that we're agile still with how we move. So we're not sure yet, very firm like a corporate. So it means a very intense environment.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So I want to ask, as far as all the photographers that are Pic-Time customers, what are some areas that you find that photographers are struggling with their businesses? And going along with that, and if each of you can pinpoint one, that would be amazing. So what are some areas that you find the photographers are struggling with in their businesses, and what advice do you have for them based on that?
It's some thinking. Maybe you start, Amir. You'll start.
So I think it goes from the naive challenges that every business has, achieving customers. And achieving customers is getting more and more complicated, I think, for photographers. If you look through the recent decades, so it is a changing world, and this is one challenge. And I think the second thing is the profitability, and that goes along with how much customers are willing to pay, what your capabilities of requesting the right fee, and how to maximize the business potential. And it's not maximizing because you want to drive a Ferrari. It's to maximize it in order to make it a viable and sustainable business. So I think these are growing and ever-changing challenges for photographers, the main things. On the professional side, on the business side.
Yeah, I think that some of the features that you have in Pic-Time definitely help with both of those aspects. One being when somebody comes and let's say they're a wedding, and their guests are looking at the gallery from all the photos from the wedding, and then they have to give their email address, and now Pic-Time can have automations to email those people, right, to potentially get some new leads from all the guests who have provided their email address to see the galleries. And on the other side, having the ease of print and book and album sales right within there, and have the easy ability to adjust your margins and things like that to increase your profitability. There's right there some easy methods that Pic-Time can help with those two exact problems. Of course, there's probably way more that could be done. There's probably more you guys are working on, but I love that you're already addressing common problems.
Where we started, and definitely this is where we're going, and helping in solve both of these challenges. Photographers have additional challenges. These are the challenges that we see in front of us and what we want to help them with. So it is the things you mentioned, and a lot of additional things. So we think that photographers, beyond being a common business that requires accounting and the website and so on, their main ingredient, the main raw material, and the main product is the photos. And there's a lot of things you can do with the photos in order to promote or to elevate these two, their position in these two challenges that we talked about. So the photos can be reused and repurposed in different aspects. So we talked about getting new customers, and it goes for having better and easier tools for you to promote yourself on social media and for your clients to promote you. And one of the new things that we added, the vendor network, creating stronger relationship with other businesses around you, to help them promote themselves, but also by that achieving a better presence online and better, recommendation or a kind of affiliation. It's not really affiliate, but recommendation environment that people really recommend you, will know. And when somebody mentions your name, say, yes, he's a good one, or she's a good one. So I think these are things that we all the time looking in how to help photographers have a stronger footprint in social. And I think today we have an amazing tool around that. And so the platform is not a gallery, right? It's a whole set of publishing tools that help them go in different directions from that perspective. And from the profitability, today the online tools also enable photographers to create a situation where the delivery of the photo is not the end of the project, but it's a new stage of the life of the photo, right? It's the life cycle of the photo, and we help this photo life cycle bring back more business and also more traffic to the photographer. So the store you mentioned is definitely one of them, and we are working on additional things in that direction.
Yeah. Every little thing, and some of them are obviously not little as far as like development wise, but every feature you add, whether small or big, I'm finding that it makes a big impact in the photographer's journey of everything that they could do. Like you mentioned, the vendor network feature, the AI face search within galleries, like that completely is just makes the navigating abilities for the guests and clients to just be, for lack of better words, stupid simple, right? It's like anybody can figure it out now, right?
Yeah, it's not just easy. It's also, the traditional gallery is the client shows it to his parents, and it ends with that. Maybe they send it to some friends. They start seeing like few hundreds of photos. They will not be engaged with that. But once they can see their photo easily, then you're expanding the people that your gallery is reaching. We see, we have data, we see the amount of time that people are spending in the gallery, that it's like growing once they see their images. And later on, you will be able as a photographer to get them maybe for the holiday to print that photo, because it's easy to get to see themselves. I'm going to a wedding. I'm looking for my Amir, me and the kids in the wedding. I'm like, it's okay, 1 or 2 images of the bride, and it's nice, but you won't be engaged with that as the mother of the bride.
Yeah. The last wedding I went to was the first wedding that my kids have been to that they remember. And they both took over the dance floor, of course. And we got the gallery after. It was not a Pic-Time gallery, but we got the gallery after, and I'm scrolling through. I don't care about these people. I don't care about these. Where's my kids?
So that's, first of all, we see that on data, like Nirit mentioned, the time people spend, and galleries with AI, people spend more time. It's reverse, it's not counterintuitive. You say, it's easier for me to find the photo, so I should be gone faster. No, so it's easier, it's more interesting for me. I actually look more on the photos. So we know it from data, but I can tell also from my personal experience, and in the company, everybody knows this story because I talk about it like 1,000 times. Because I have a lot of nephews and nieces, and they all got married. Let's say got married in the last a few years. And the first time I had my nephew having and they do use Pic-Time galleries. The photographers, really the first gallery that I downloaded so many photos, not 1 or 2, was the gallery when the AI was introduced. Suddenly I could mark me, my kid, like Nirit said, Nirit, my kids, her, and I saw it gave me all the photos, and I said, okay, actually I want them, and I clicked on the import to Google Photos, and now I have all these photos with me, and I don't have it from the previous one. So it is a big impact. I think the AI, but the AI we have is not only on the face. Actually, it's not only face, by the way. Our AI team will come and jump and say it's a person, sir. You'll see, because so when we started working on that, we saw that AI face detection is very good for Google Photos, but when you're talking about professional photography, sometimes the artistic things or the nice photos are actually photos that are taken from the back, different angles of people. Right. And you'll see that our AI, if there is enough photos around, they'll know. It will also know to recognize photos of people when they are not facing the camera. So it's not only face.
Yeah.
There's.
Yeah, my 6-year-old thinks he can break dance. So when he's on the dance floor, sometimes you don't see his face. He's all spinning around.
So actually, we didn't think about that. But PPI, a photographer, came to me and said, "Look what I'm doing with sports. It saved and he showed me that it actually recognized it from many angles. It was very cool. But so this is around the person, but there's also, we are looking now into the photos. Find me photos with hugs. Find me photos with pets. Find me like free language, and it's amazing how the AI can do it, but it's doing it. And we're using these models also for the vendors. So basically, when you have many vendors, now it's very easy to distribute. So that goes on both sides. The profitability. Correct. Yes. Yeah. So we created models for a specific set of vendors. We're increasing it all the time, but the profitability goes in two ways. One is selling more because clients are willing to pay before you sign the contract X amount of dollars. And everything you sell after that is X plus something. And there are people that can use our system in a very good way, that it is a super significant potential there. But there's also the other side of making your life more efficient. So the average in the market for sharing with vendor was either 1 or 2. And now with the platform that we released, we see that it's already getting closer to the 3. And it's continuously growing. So we see the average that people are using the vendor network, they're sending more and more. And we have now people that send to 10, 15 vendors. They cannot do it without AI, otherwise it's too much work. So they are doing manually for a few vendors, but the rest of them, it's all automated.
Yeah, so interesting. I love that you've got a lot of features that you've built that are probably being built that at the end of the day, it's all about the client experience. And from my point of view, it's about the client experience more than the photographer's experience. But if the client's experience is amazing, it only helps the photographer. And it's this flywheel effect in a way. You're producing something that the client experiences, but you've got to also make sure that the experience is good for the photographer. But if the client is happy, the photographer is happy, then Pic-Time and it's like this. Beautiful.
Yes. And actually, we're talking about the workflow. Maybe I'll give a word on the workflow. I'll be back to the vendor because I think it's interesting. Usually on a gallery, you have the client, right? But with the concept of a vendor, so you have a main target, which is the client. But then you have another 10 additional people which are also a target for this gallery, maybe a subset of this gallery. Now it changed the workflow that we recommend our photographers, because it used to be when you have the photos ready after the edit, create a Pic-Time gallery and start the process, upload, and then the process starts. Today with the vendors, actually we tell them when you book or when you're getting closer to the event, create the gallery. Maybe it's an empty gallery, but then you're getting a registration link where you can send to the planner, to the couple, to vendors, so vendors can register to the gallery themselves. So you do not have to go around and shopping for their contacts. The contacts are already in the gallery waiting for you with all the details. What is their social tag and where is their website and so on. So everything, all the credits and everything will be already organized for you. And when you are working in Lightroom, after of course doing all the culling and everything and the automation with Imagen, You can also use in Lightroom to add keywords and say this is a florist and so on. So if you don't want the AI, you can also do that upstream, not in Pic-Time. You can say add the keyword florist or venue or DJ or whatever. Or there's a list of keywords you can place. When you upload to Pic-Time, everything automatically is mapped to the right place. And then it can, with another click or two, it can go out to these multiple targets, to the main clients, to the vendors, and everything is automated. If you don't do it in Lightroom, then the AI can help you.
Yeah.
So the workflow is changing. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I was actually going to ask my next question was going to be, how have you seen the workflows evolve over the years? And that's like a obvious natural progression, the way that you just laid that out. Hopefully, with this integration that we're going to talk about in a moment, Imagen will also be able to play a role in identifying first looks and things like that, and help with the sets within your Pic-Time galleries eventually, or identifying flowers and saying florist and keywording it and stuff like that. Hopefully a lot of this can come over time, but it is interesting that the workflow has started years ago with having to do a lot of this manually, and now a lot of it can be more automated with this new vendor features. So any workflow changes that you've seen over the years that you think might be worth bringing up? That
first, when I remember the first demos that we showed, and it was in the field trip. It was, I think, 10 years ago at least. I remember that the highlight... 8? It feels like 8. So long ago. No, I think it's more, because it's after we came back 10 years ago from the US, so never mind. We'll figure out the numbers later, but more than 6 years, okay? So the highlight of the workflow was the fact that the photographer can make a selection to the client. And they struggled with, they had to choose the images for something they want to make them. Let's say they want to make an album, or they wanted other project with the client. So they limited to 20, and they always chose more than this. So we created a situation where they can't choose more than this. And this was like the thing that people were so excited about, that the system knows how to limit them the number of selection. I think that we're in such a different place right now, and a lot of things have been streamed with the automations in a really good way. And I think that this is really the key for photographers to use things, because you asked in the beginning about the challenges. I think that one of the challenges of photographers is I see in my head like a circle of the photographer and the art. And we love the art part. This is what we love. We take the photos, we're full of passion for that. We edit them a little bit. Now with Imagen, you don't need to edit a lot, but you nurture them with everything you love. That's it. Like photographers, the gap that, like the step that they need to take in order to create a successful business is a step that they need to take. And we've seen, like with stuff that we've made, if we're not making this step automated and easy, it will be hard for them to take the step. When we first introduced the automations, they had to create it in a way. We gave them the discount. They could do anything by themselves. I remember it was in Way Up North. I asked one of the photographers, like he knew everything. And he said, so I told him, why don't you do it? And he said, no, I don't have the time. I don't have the capacity. I can't. And then we came up with the automation that you really need to click on a button and that's it. Like the whole flow is ready for you. So I think that the nature of things, the nature of the era that we're in, you're not used to spend time on things that can be automated. And it gives you more time to do the things that the human qualities that are the human qualities. So I think that this is a big change in the service that we're able to provide photographers now.
Something as simple as, and I don't have it in front of me at this moment, but something as simple as Valentine's Day, you want to send out a coupon code for galleries for your couples. And now you can go to Pic-Time and just say, turn on the Valentine Day automation, right? Like, done.
Boom, and
you don't have to do
it.
anything.
Yeah.
That's it.
And basically, you're using something that the marketing team worked on that. So it's like a marketing team that worked for you, and you can now repurpose it for your own.
The visuals,
business.
the copy.
Yeah.
Discounts, the timing, yes.
And now for the holidays, we saw the number of people that used it, and we wanted more because it's like they win with that. Like the client wins because he has his images printed, and this is like the goal, I think. And the photographer wins because also his work lives for longer in his client's house, and also there's additional revenue. So we said, okay, what can we make? How can we make them use it? Like, how can we make them? So we created like a wizard within the systems that they can answer few things, and it makes it like it's streamlined the already streamed process. This is the era.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process of all the time simplifying it and packaging. But
exactly.
We have the struggle because in Pic-Time, when we get to a conflict between simplicity or optimization or bringing a potential, we always choose the potential. And so we started with the very professional photographers, and we're getting more and more beginners. So we need to package it more, and this is something that we are ongoing thing. But the DNA for Pic-Time is really the serious photographers, those that wants to make a business out of it, those that want to increase the brand, and are willing also to pay attention a little bit to the afterlife of the photo. Not a lot, right? Most of the energy goes to taking the photos themselves, but a little bit on the afterlife of where the photos leave you and go on their journey. You know, it's like sending them from school to college. I don't know.
Yeah. So this is a good opportunity to bring up, we teased it a little bit already, but Imagen and Pic-Time now have an integration. And it's beautiful. The fact that photographers can now cull with AI, edit with AI, have their photos backed up securely, and all their selections that are edited go straight to a Pic-Time gallery. It opens up so many possibilities, as we've teased over this episode. How do you see this new integration helping Pic-Time customers?
So I think that actually at the beginning of my professional career, American guy that kind of, not because of this sentence, but I think it affected a lot the course of my life. And he told me, it was between analog and digital. He said, everything that can go analog, everything that can be digital will be digital. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter the quality, it doesn't matter that. Now, I know Nirit holds a little bit different opinions on that, yes.
Yeah.
But I think life shows that the power of, and I will say that with automations, and I think it's the same, that this is the value. The things that there always need to be added value. And if the added value you provide versus the effort does not justify it, then it will die eventually. And I think when we're getting more, and actually the pace of new capabilities getting out today is unbelievable. I'm talking about the whole world around us. I think, my perspective, we need to accept it and all the time say, okay, so this, I don't need to do this now. So where's my creativity, where's my energy goes into to bring it to the next level that currently is not available. And this is all the time changing. You know, in the past you had to wash your clothes, and today you have a washing machine, right? Nobody wants to go back in that perspective, right? Yep. So I think it's the same. The things that the automation gets to good enough quality, that will, and the quality all the time increases. So I think that I see that as an ongoing, like an internal question, what you're asking. It's not something that's for now or for another year. It's all the time you need to see what part of your job is already can be done by a machine, and you need to find to reinvent yourself on the next in the next step. And so going back to the Imagen thing, I think that first of all, definitely the more immediate and evident value is with photographers that shoot a lot of sessions, and mini sessions or a lot of portraits, people, this type of thing. So these are things that you have a lot of photos all the time, and basically you want to make time to make the next session. And so I think that with the cloud integration would be a strong capability for them, because it's every few clicks, every minute you're taking from their workflow, it's valuable. They're spending their time doing something more valuable, and it will grow to other places, even the things that are less stressed, when I need to save the click. But since this is already a complete workflow that works, and I'm just doing something that the machine is doing, I will do something else. And I think that this is something that we will see. I think it will change a lot. It will open, not immediately, but this is a process that will start. This type of workflows will become more and more, I think, prominent. And it will open new opportunities also for purposing and repurposing your professional photography into more instant opportunities. Not only for this session that goes for eternity, but for the more instant activities. And so I think we already discussed a few of those, but it will take time, I think, to make this happen. But definitely, I see this process going this way.
Amazing. Anything you wanted to add about it?
I think that when we give Amir and Yotam materials to work with, the good stuff will happen. That's like a beginning. And then I agree with Amir. I think that everything that streams and get photographers more time to invest in what Amir mentioned, like the creative side, and I talked about like the human more qualities. I think that everything that frees the photographer from the mechanical work is what should be. Like, this is the future. So,
whether we like it or not, by the way, you can have people that still, when we're living in the States, actually, I couldn't imagine that this is existing. Going with the kids, on a Saturday, we were driving somewhere, and Jonathan, my kid, said, I see knights here. I said,
knights?
What? He said, knights, remember, with swords? And I said, what? And we went aside, and there was a whole area where people living like Middle Ages, with blacksmiths and bakers, and they're dressed like that. So there is, and they enjoy. I'm sure these people, a lot of people, I don't know, 200 people, and they were for a few days. They were living like that. So that exists as well, right? The old ways, right? The quality. I'm not making fun of it. I can really understand that. So it exists, but it can be in that scale. You go for 2 weeks to, let's say, fast forward to the future, you'll go for 2 weeks for retouch, playing with editing your photos, let's say, in an Imagine world, right? Mm-hmm. It's at some point, the tools that will be there will be, I think, good enough. And you will have to do other stuff, to build on top of it, to invest more time in the framing, in the styling, in the concept of what you do. There will be a lot of things around that.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think being a photographer today is much more difficult than it used to be, because in the past, I think there was always the artistic side, but there was a lot of technical side. So you were an engineer, right? In order to take a good photo, there was a lot of engineering that had to go into that. Definitely in the beginning, and as you go along, it reduced, and the creativity and the framing, the styling, the statement that you put became more and more, I think, a prominent part of that. Yeah. And this is more difficult.
Just not to go too deep into what is still in the works for the integration, but I will say that personally, what I'm looking forward to most is the personal insights that will be revealed for both the imaginers and the Pic-Timers on either side from this integration. There's going to be a lot of business insights that people will learn through all the stuff we've got in the pipeline, and that's personally what I'm most excited about. Yeah, it's very exciting times. As we start to wrap this up, are there any upcoming features at Pic-Time that you're able to share or tease that's coming that,
Oh,
and if not, it's perfectly okay. But
there is not, but if I know the schedule of when is it going to air this one, then it will already be out. It's the video.
So this is probably going to be middle of February or beginning of March.
There is something very big that's coming, but we won't say it because I'm not sure if there'll be delays of that and so on. But yes, there's something very exciting coming in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Coming out.
Something big. You heard it here first. Okay, so my last question to you both, and I would love to hear from each of you individually, and it doesn't have to be anything on the Imagine side, doesn't have to be anything on the Pic-Time side, but in general, it doesn't even have to be photography related. It could be something completely other, just to get the mind thinking. What type of technologies are you excited about in the future?
Yeah. That's such a great question for Amir. But I'll think while Amir is talking.
I could share one of mine.
In general, yes.
So, yeah.
Amir is one. Yeah.
So I love the direction that Apple has started taking with the Vision Pros. I don't want a Vision Pro myself. However, I also love the direction that Mark Zuckerberg has taken with the Meta glasses, that they're starting to look more and more like real glasses. So as somebody who wears glasses all day long unless I'm sleeping, it would be nice to have some sort of technology built into glasses that don't weigh your head down, don't hurt your ears, things like that. But more so, having health-related things built in so it can track my heartbeat without having to wear a watch or a ring or whatever it is. Like having it on something you're wearing anyway because you need glasses, right? That's the stuff I'm looking forward to in general, just smart glasses. Like
if you look at it, then the next step will be that you won't have glasses, right? It will be right to the eye, and the next level is that it will be directly to the brain, that you won't have even in the eye. So yes, this is definitely exciting. But on a shorter term, I think that I'm really amazed by what's going on with AI in any directions, and mainly this general AI. I'm playing a lot with Gemini. I'm seeing more and more use of it with code writing, which is for me. So photographers talking about the generative AI for photography, that for developers it's also the same thing. It's actually very good. But what I saw just a few days ago, they released the live, I don't know what they call it, live chat, I think. So basically you open and you're speaking with the computer. You're simply speaking, and it's like a human being. We're planning a vacation in Greece, and I'm trying to find out we like to backpack. So I'm looking for what's the best hiking places and so on. Yeah. And really a discussion, and it's actually the same algorithm that gave me in the morning recommendations for the code is now talking to me, but really talking like I'm speaking like with an agent, with a person. Sorry, and planning my trip.
I totally use AI for things like that. Maybe not necessarily like vacations, but if I know I'm going to here, instead of me going to Google and saying, Google, I'm going to travel here, what should I go see? I'm just having a conversation and being like, let the AI who's done all this research already help me figure out, with 2 kids at this age, where can I go? Or if I have a son that has allergies, where can I go to eat that there's no risk? Like that kind of thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It's a discussion. It gives me, and then he didn't understand the name. I didn't pronounce it well, so he gave me the wrong place. So I said, no, in Greece. He said, now it's clear, and so it makes more sense, or something like that. It was really, I don't know. So for me, it's not the far. This is already here, and it is mind blowing. I think.
Yeah. Awesome.
Amir, do you have something for me? Because I'm like wrapping my head around it, and I'm like, I can't. I think that I'm like coded in a different way, and I see that, and I really value that, but I'm not excited about it. I saw Amir talking.
You're more of like an analog type person. You like the tangible.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. But I will say something. I do enjoy it. We have an apartment, And Amir wanted like a door that is like a sophisticated door. And every time I'm stepping in the, no, how do you say,
Stairs.
in the stairs. Every time I'm stepping in the stairs, just before I'm getting to the room, to the door, it opens up. And it's so delighting. This is like really delighting. Every time like I'm with things from the grocery, my hands are, and the door is opening and I'm saying, wow, this is great. So I'm enjoying it. I'm just like not super excited, but for that feature, I'm really excited.
Yeah. You're not actively looking for it, for the new technologies, but when they present themselves and they're helpful, you enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you both for sitting here and chatting with me about all this. It's always a delight to see your faces and to chat with you. And I can't wait for additional conversations in the future and to hopefully see you at the events again soon.
Yeah, it's lovely speaking with you, Scott. Always better in person, but this is also a great opportunity to talk with you. It's always interesting, and thank you for having us.
You have been listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast. To hear more from Workflows, to learn more about our guest, and for an exclusive offer for Workflows listeners, please go to workflowspodcast.com. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.